This I wanna nail sports to the bone. Top blogger, top YouTube channel. No matter which sports, yeah, we got it covered. Subscribe and hit the notification bell.
What's up, Sports to the Bone family? What's up? What's up? A blessed morning to you all, and welcome back to another video. Hope you guys are doing okay. All right, my viewers and subscribers. So it is the 2nd of May 2022. Simply means it is Brian Charles Lara's birthday. Yes, my viewers and subscribers, arguably the greatest to have ever done it when it comes on to holding a cricket bat in hand. So for today's video, for this video, we are going to be zooming in on Brian Charles Lara. Going to be dedicating this one to him, right? I am actually on the Wisden cricketing website, and here I see 10 moments that Brian Lara would have listed as his 10 most memorable moments playing the game. So I'm going to go through it. I'm going to share the 10 moments with you. Remember, guys, these 10 moments were selected by the Prince himself. So I'm going to go through and share with you. Make sure you sit down and relax yourself, and enjoy. All right, so it starts and it says, a delightful stroke maker, a proven match winner, and a man worthy of the title, Prince, right? Brian Charles Lara. All right, my viewers and subscribers. So before we go down into the top 10, I'm just going to give you a little background just to remind you. So Lara went on to score 22,358 runs during his 17-year-long career for West Indies. And at that point, he was actually the highest run scorer in red ball cricket. You know, I think it was back in 2008 that the little master Sachin Tendulkar overtook him. So Lara definitely stands out, and we will all remember those records: 375, 501, and 400 not out. All right, so that is the little bit of information that I give you at the top. So the first thing that Lara has here at number 10, he says, he calls this one the Sobers moment, right? And he says Sir Garfield Sobers International Schools Tournament in 1986. Now, Lara is quoted as saying, I remember playing for Fatima College and having to bat at number 7 or 8 because it was a pretty good team. One Friday afternoon, I got an early hit because an opposition bowler got a hat-trick and I was able to score 100, right? He says at age 14, playing under 19 cricket, and from then I knew I had a chance at this game. He says a couple of years later, I met Sir Garfield Sobers for the first time at a schools tournament in Barbados and interacted with him a bit. He had a liking for my style, and that was enough to motivate any youngster. Those were the key moments in my early years. So Brian Lara has meeting Sobers as a key moment there at 10. At number 9, he says the unexpected debut, right? West Indies versus Pakistan, third test match in Lahore, 1990. He says, I'm very thankful for Kailash Bess for his opportunity. I was not in the team, but he got his webbing torn apart standing at slip during practice, and I was called in to play my first test. It was a great experience, and playing against Imran Khan, Wasim Akram, and Waqar Yunis was just an awesome moment. And to make a contribution on debut was something very special. I think he had 44 and 5 in that game. All right, the next one he lists here, he has the Sydney double, 277. West Indies versus Australia, third test match in Sydney, 1993. Lara says, we were 1-0 down in the series, and Sydney was not a ground that gave us great results. To be able to pull off this innings against the likes of Shane Warne and McDermott at the very young age and shift the balance towards us with 2 tests to go was amazing. My daughter's name is Sydney simply because of that innings. It's an innings that any young man would cherish, and it's definitely in my top 5. I remember coming off the field at T and 120, and Ron Kanai, our coach at the time, told me to set my stall out and bat for as long as possible. That inning served as a template for me. When I got to 100, I didn't see it as a milestone or a great achievement. I always had the motivation to carry on. So the Sydney double he has there. The next one, he says the record breaker, 375. This would have been West Indies versus England, the fifth test match at Antigua, 1994. Right? Lara says, I could see the look on Ambrose and Walsh's face. Don't get out. We don't want to bowl on that track. Right? The catalyst for this innings was England beating us in the previous match at Barbados. We had already won the series, but we wanted a grandstand finish at Antigua. I wasn't thinking of a world record, but I didn't want to get out until the captain was ready to declare. I could see the look on Ambrose and Walsh's face. Don't get out. We don't want to bowl on that track. It was a momentous occasion in my life, and I suspect it had something to do with with destiny. Sir Garfield Sobers had been pretty upset that I got run out on 277 against Australia a year earlier, and I was so happy he was there to see me break his record for the highest individual score. All right, the next one Brian Charles Lara has here. He says the really big one, 501 Warwickshire versus Durham County Championship, right? And that one was in 1994. Lara is quoted as saying, I had toured England in 1991 and found the conditions difficult. I didn't play in the test, but guys bowling little medium pace kept knocking out my stumps in the practice matches. I warned the media it might take a time to get accustomed to conditions when I arrived at Warwickshire, but I was able to get some runs from minute one, and I had 6 centuries in the first 7 innings. He says it in that match against Durham, I thought my run was coming to an end. I got bowled off a no ball and 10 and was then dropped behind for 14. I told the umpire I'm exhausted. This could be the end of the run. A day and a half later, things were a bit different. We tried to get a game going, but were unsuccessful in convincing Durham to set up a match. So it was all about getting batting points. I was under attack all day, and then the record started to tumble. I put my head down and went for the ultimate. All right. So the next one that Lara has here, he says the series saver 179 West Indies versus England, the 6th test at the Oval in 1995. Now this was according to Lara, this was a very tough series. It ended 2-2 and England had us on the ropes. Every time we put out our heads in front, they came back and I batted pretty well. 3 centuries and 3 50s in 10 innings. England would have faced winning, well, would have had a fascinating series win at the Oval, but the big partnership I had with Carl Hooper put victory beyond them. Ending the series with a big ton was a very good achievement, but I wish the runs were in a winning capacity. The norm of the West Indies was to beat England. All right, so the next one he has on the list, he says the one-man stand, 688 runs at an average of 114.66. West Indies versus Sri Lanka Test Series in Sri Lanka 2001. He says my performance in Sri Lanka in 2001 were some of my most impressive. That series was a huge moment in my career. We lost all 3 test matches, but I was named player of the series after scoring 3 centuries, including a double. How can someone be named player of the series if they lost all 3 test matches? I remember scoring a century and a double in the same match and still losing with 2 sessions to go. Oh my goodness. How can I score a double and century and lose by... I tell you. No, the next one he has, the record reclaimer, 400, right? West Indies versus England, 4 tests, Antigua 2004. And this one I remember as clear as day. Even though I was still in primary school, I can remember this when he broke that record, right? They say 2004, he became the highest run scorer when he took back that record there, and he lists it as one of his best. He says this was a completely different scenario, right? He said 10 years earlier when we were 3-1 up, my foremost thought as captain was that we didn't lose the series 4-0. If you speak to Michael Vaughan, he'll tell you that I was out on 0, but I didn't feel the ball on the bat and I'm only going to walk when I know I'm out. I remember hearing Steve Armisen saying that Lara was actually out on 0, because he edged the ball. But Lara is a man that is known to walk, my viewers and subscribers. Once the ball is edged, Lara is a man that is known to walk. It called for someone to play a big innings, Lara said, and I was happy to do so. They had a couple of guys like Nasser Hussain and Throop, who were a part of the 375 and the 400. They weren't happy. It was another momentous moment in my life, says Brian. No, this one here, I think at where we are at, I think probably number 2. He says the Champions Trophy win. And this one I also remember in 2004, West Indies versus England, ICC Champions Trophy final at the Oval, right? Lara says we had 7 test match losses against England in 8 matches in a 6-month period, and we went to Bermuda for the little rest and relaxation, so to see if we could get our heads together. We came back to England for the Champions Trophy, still a bit divided, unsure of ourselves and lacking in confidence. A lot of individualism was happening at the time. We tried our best to bring things together and to come out, to come out champions. Beating England in the final was an awesome feeling as a captain with not much to shout to shout about. That trophy was a very special moment, says Brian Lara. And the one that he has at number 1, right, the 213, best of the lot, West Indies versus Australia, second test, Jamaica, 1999. Now Lara is saying when anyone asks him his favorite innings, they always try to steer him towards the 153 in Barbados, and probably I would have seen that 153 on YouTube, and the circumstances that he had to play that under, I probably rank that 153 also far. I rank it highly. I rank that 153 very, very high, right? But according to Lara now, when anyone asks me for the favorite innings, they always try to steer me towards that 153 in Barbados. But the 213 a week earlier in Jamaica is one I cherish the most. We had just lost 5-0 to South Africa. We had lost the first test against Australia, and they were expected to win the series convincingly. I was put on probation as captain for 2 test matches, and I was under immense pressure. I remember this. It brought out a quality in me that I did not know I had. It was of that magnitude. I'd never played a match winning, and well, let me go again. I was under immense pressure. It brought out a quality in me that I did not know I had. It was of that magnitude. I had played match winning and match saving innings, but in terms of personal crisis and crisis of the West Indies team, this was something different. It showed I had true mental strength, and something that I could dig deep, that I could call on to dig deep and to dig myself out of a hole. West Indies won by 10 wickets and drew the series 2-2. Lara scoring 546 runs at 91, right? He said that innings in Jamaica was the best I have ever batted. Maybe not in style. The 277 at Sydney might be better in respect, but certainly in terms of pressure and what was happening around me. So there you have it, my viewers and subscribers. The great man Brian Charles Lara, letting us know what you think the 10 best innings are that he would have played in cricket. Putting that one in Jamaica as the best based on the fact that he was under tremendous pressure and all of that. So hope you guys enjoy. Hope you took the time out to listen right to the end. You can let me know in the comment section if you made it to the end. And once again, happy birthday to the Prince.